Good morning, you crazy kids, and happy hump day. It is Wednesday, November 6, 2019, and you're watching the Daily Mix TV. Hi, my name is Sean Patrick Hillman. There is a very disturbing new trend popping up in business right now, and it looks like bringing public companies private is the trend du jour. Unfortunately, that signals a lack of confidence by some of the biggest retailers in the world. A couple of months ago, it was speculated that Hudson's Bay Company, which owns Saks Fifth Avenue, Lord & Taylor, and other properties, was going to buy out their investors and go private. Well, it looks like that's actually in process of happening, and now it appears that another behemoth is doing the same strategy, Walgreens Boots Alliance. The company, which has a roughly $55 billion market cap, has been in preliminary talks with large private equity firms, according to a report from Reuters, that also noted, this is very interesting, if this happens, it would constitute the largest LBO ever, leveraged buyout. That is unbelievable. Now, Reuters cited anonymous sources who said that Walgreens has retained Evercore Partners to see whether this is even feasible. And they also cited that there are several firms that were approached that were very hesitant because they cited concerns around funding the deal and the company's future business prospects. Now, among funding options also being considered to try and get this done is CEO and Vice Chairman Stefano Pessina rolling his 16% stake in the company into the transaction. They're also looking to divest their 27% stake in AmerisourceBergen. Last week during their earnings call, Walgreens issued a guidance for fiscal 2020, expecting for adjusted earnings per share to be flat for the year. That's very bad news for them. Now, it also announced a partnership with Jenny Craig, which we did discuss last week. Walgreens has been on this kick lately, trying to build up extended marketing programs and platforms, partnership-focused approach, that kind of thing. So they've got in-store collaborations with Birchbox and LabCorp, which we talked about earlier this year. And they also recently expanded their pilot program with Kroger. So Walgreens, while it does have a lot of headwinds to face because of declining sales in their business units like Duane Reade and things like that, this could actually be a very interesting win for them if they can pull it off. And that's the whole kicker there, if. All right, Uber's top dog, CEO Dara Khosrowshahi, I always get this name wrong, I'm so sorry, Khosrowshahi, there we go, has outlined Uber's road to becoming profitable, which he stated will happen within 2 years. Now, the ride-hailing company said third quarter sales surged 30% to $3.8 billion, even as its losses widened to $1.2 billion from $986 million last year. They cited unrelenting challenges from competitors and regulators across the globe. Now, since Uber's IPO last May, the CEO has cut more than 1,000 workers, but he has managed to increase both rides and deliveries made through their Uber Eats unit. Now, here's the issue I have with this. First of all, Uber wouldn't know profit if it hit them upside the head. They're incredibly overvalued. They're very bloated. And even now, millennials are starting to turn on their preferred form of transportation. Something tells me they won't make profitability in 5 years, let alone 2. Looks like the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, and the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, have been very busy this week. AT&T will pay the FTC $60 million for misleading millions of customers when charging them for, quote, unlimited data while reducing their speeds if they use too much. The settlement ends a 5-year battle with the agency and will partially refund some 3.5 million consumers who were affected by the scheme. FTC Commissioner Chopra said that when it comes to customer agreements, he would push for increased accountability among big companies. This is a big topic happening right now, especially when you get into companies like Uber and WeWork. We all know what happened to WeWork. We know what's going on there. Speaking of which, breaking news just hit. SoftBank is taking a $4.6 billion loss due to their investment in WeWork with their CEO, who has not taken a loss in 14 years, stating he made a mistake and he regrets it and he looks forward to correcting it. So back to the story. The whole point is that more accountability is incredibly important right now because of the uncertain economic period we're heading into, and consumer confidence is still doing this roller coaster. So the more accountability we have, the better off we all are. Now, the Federal Communications Commission, this is very interesting, has approved the T-Mobile Sprint merger, stating the deal will enhance competition and also hasten 5G deployment. Now, the panel's 3-2 vote last month was the final regulatory hurdle for the $26.5 billion transaction. But it won't close just yet. So don't pop those party poppers, people. A judgment needs to be reached in a multi-state lawsuit alleging that the combination of the third and fourth biggest U.S. wireless carriers will actually hurt consumers. Now, we all know this story. Some of you may not, in terms of Ma Bell and the breakup of Ma Bell into the Baby Bells. I mean, we're talking decades upon decades ago. When you look at something like this, where you've got the third and fourth largest carriers in the U.S. combining, that's going to make a very big powerhouse and a lot of competition for AT&T and Verizon. So hopefully, the FCC finishes out what they need to do in this multi-state lawsuit, can get finalized, so we can finally figure out if it's going to be called T-Mo Sprint, Sprint T-Mo, who knows. All right, Xerox is considering making an offer to take over personal computer maker Hewlett-Packard, according to the Wall Street Journal. The copier maker is said to be exploring a cash and stock offer, which has about $27 billion in market value and is more than 3 times the size of Xerox itself. Now, something like this is incredibly important in the world of business and marketing. Both HP and Xerox have been hurt severely by the digital age. There's a severe decline in printing and copier usage. You also have Hewlett-Packard is not as popular a personal computer brand as it once was. Remember, they used to have Compaq, and that was actually the more popular computing brand. HP in the late 90s through, I'd say, the mid-2000s, spent a lot of money and a lot of marketing going after small business and medium-sized businesses for business-oriented laptops, and they did a great job at it. However, they took their foot off the gas once Apple started to really eat into their market share. So it's going to be interesting to see if this happens or not. Playing to the strength of both brands and capitalizing on consumer sentiment, as well as both brands' brand equity, this could actually be a grand slam. Forget a home run. This could be phenomenal and the start of something very special. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Daily Mix TV. Hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, comments, or story ideas, please email thedailymixtv@gmail.com. We'll see you tomorrow.